No added sugar. Have you heard about that? I don't know about you, but I have seen so many products now, a huge increase saying no added sugar. And we've got our specialist here, Amanda. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, dear.
And she's going to talk to us a little bit about what that means, no added sugar.
Yeah, and you're right. There are so many products now that say no added sugar. And I guess what we want to know is, are they actually any better for us?
Yes.
So I guess
definitely.
I always think to myself, where is the sweetness coming from in these products?
That's right, because they're still sweet.
Yeah, that's right. They're still sweet. So often they can be coming from things like fruit purees or dried fruit pieces, and that's okay because it's from natural sources, but we do need to remember to still check the total sugars because they can still be quite high in natural sugars as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But the other place that sweetness can be coming from is from sweeteners, and there are actually 3 different types. So the first type are artificial sweeteners. So these are chemical additives. They're really intensely sweet and they don't have any kilojoules at all.
Wow.
So some common names that you might recognise are things like aspartame, saccharin, sucralose, and there's many others as well. And you can find them also in products like Equal, Splendor, that sort of thing.
Yeah, okay, so they're your artificial sweeteners.
Yeah, so they're the artificial sweeteners. Now, they are approved for use in food, but there is growing concern over their safety, and there's evidence emerging that's showing that they're maybe not quite so good as we once thought.
Right.
So the research is showing that they can actually change the composition of our bacteria in our gut.
Wow.
And this is being linked with obesity, type 2 diabetes and metabolic syndrome.
Wow.
The other concern is that because they're so sweet, they can actually overstimulate the sugar receptors in our brains, and making us less likely to want foods that are less sweet, like fruit, vegetables. And this is particularly a concern for kids.
It would be.
Yeah.
And what about, is there like a natural version of these that we could use that wouldn't be as bad?
Yeah, well, there is another type. So this isn't as natural, but the next type is called Nutritive Sweetness.
Okay.
So these have less energy than sugar, but they still have some energy in them. So they're not kilojoule free.
Right.
And they're things like xylitol, erythritol, maltitol, those sort of things. So you find them in things like chewing gum.
So they're not overly...
sugar-free lollies, that sort of thing.
Overly processed, overly
bad. So they're usually made from cornstarch, but they can actually be found naturally in fruit and vegetables.
Okay.
But the main problem with them is that if you eat too much, they can have a bit of a laxative effect because they're not fully digested.
Now you know what to do.
Don't have too much of those. But as you're saying with the natural sweeteners, so there are some natural sweeteners like stevia, monk fruit as well.
Yes,
they're the
I only
main
heard
examples.
Of that. That's cool.
So they are made from plants. They are also really super sweet, so you don't need much, and they're very low in energy too.
Which is great.
That's great. They may actually have some health benefits as well because of their antioxidant content, and they don't affect your blood sugar levels either.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah, they're the main sweeteners.
So what about overall? So what would you say overall, what should we be doing?
Yeah. So overall, I would be looking at the ingredients list and choosing products that are sweetened with some sort of fruit.
Okay.
Or a natural sweetener like stevia or monk fruit. And trying to avoid more of these artificial sweeteners and nutritive sweeteners. They are okay to have, but in small amounts and only occasionally, not all the time. The other thing to remember is that products that have no added sugar in them tend to be quite processed. So while they're really convenient, they're probably not so good to be given to your kids all the time. So rather sticking with whole foods.
That's awesome. Thank you. That was a lot of information. But if you want any more of these awesome topics that we talk about, please follow us on YouTube. And thank you, Amanda, so much for coming today. We'll see you guys next time.